Some of us are in relationships simply because we're codependent. We're not independent, we're codependent. We need something outside of ourselves to make us feel enough. I got a girlfriend, I got a boyfriend, I got a partner. I'm enough. Because without them, I'm not enough. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode on the Luke Mind Power podcast. You are listening to a podcast that has been created for the purpose of you to transform your life, to live your freaking dreams, to believe in yourself more, to learn to love yourself, and for you to realize that there's so much untapped potential that you have within yourself that you haven't discovered yet because, we just haven't taken the time to invest in ourselves and appreciate ourselves enough. And that's really the truth. If I hadn't taken the time for myself to really understand myself more or get out of my comfort zone or make changes in my life, then I wouldn't have made the changes. I would have stayed the same. I wouldn't have even had this podcast. I think one of the challenges that most of us are going through constantly every single day is we care so much about what people think of us. And it's such a simple thing. I've said this so many times. It's like, well, how do we overcome that? How do we overcome this fear of speaking, fear of public speaking, fear of getting out of your comfort zone and knowing that life can change, but you have to change. And that's what's uncomfortable because we get so used to living in a specific way and state of mind. And life is a state of mind. When you change your mind, you change your whole life. So if you decide today that you're going to change your mind, it's one moment that can change your life forever. One moment, one decision, one choice. And that could be today. You're listening to this for a reason. And for some reason, you got to this point in your life to make some changes, to start to look at yourself a little bit differently, to start to realize that this is not the end. Just because you've built what you've built and you've gotten to where you've gotten or you've gone through what you've gotten through, it doesn't mean that this is where you stay or this is what it's always going to be like for the next 10, 20, 30 years. But the truth is, if change is going to happen in your life, there has to be some sort of deeper meaning, deeper reason, some sort of pain that needs to really drive you, because that's really the basis. It needs to hurt up, and we've got these two things, right? It's either you change from inspiration, where you're listening to a podcast like the Luke Mind Power podcast, you're listening to something like this, or you're watching me on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or YouTube, wherever, and you're like, oh my God, I'm so inspired by what Luke is talking about. Shit, I needed that motivation. I needed that positive energy. I needed to hear that story today. Or you are so fucking desperate, you've been fucking hurt, or you've been doubting yourself for so many years, or you've been abused, maybe financially or physically or mentally or sexually or whatever that way is for you over a course of amount of years or weeks or months or whatever that is for you. You have been hurt, or you have been playing small, or you have been being quiet or shrinking yourself for too many years, or you've been settling for less, or you've been just like, well, I guess this is how it is for so long, where you just get to a threshold. I believe we all have a threshold. There's like a level, there's a level that you get to. If you're not inspired by listening to this podcast or by somebody else's journey or story, then it's got to be that you're gonna act from desperation. You're gonna act from pain. You're gonna act from enough is enough. You're gonna act from hitting this fucking ceiling, this limitation, this threshold, this level. And if you're watching on YouTube or on Spotify, you can see me that I'm moving my right hand. And I'm moving it up because what you're trying to do is you're trying to grow, you're trying to be happy, you're trying to change, you're trying to go with it, but you can't go anymore. And you keep hitting the fucking ceiling, keep hitting the roof. And this is many of us in our life. And we're not aware or understanding, well, why am I still trying to escape? Many of us are not happy. So what are we doing? We're escaping, drinking our life away. We can't deal with it, so we snort coke. We can't deal with it, so we smoke marijuana. We can't deal with it, so we over abusing the fucking TV or social media, scrolling meaninglessly, and getting on Netflix and just watching fucking continuously fucking film after film after film. And really, what you're doing on Netflix is you're watching other people in their success. People are becoming successful by becoming actors, by sharing their TV shows, and that's what we're doing. And many of us are not appreciating the fact that we are in our own way and we are not making the hard decisions that are actually going to be the ones that set us free. But so many of us, we get stuck. Maybe it's because of your culture. Maybe it's because of, what people are going to think of you. If you decide to get a divorce, you decide to leave your job, you decide to do something that, that people may judge you for. Well, then what do? Well, you stay. You don't move. You live in fear. And it's also part of the comfort zone. It's also part of the safety. You feel safe in that, even though it's shit. And there's also the fear of like, well, what's going to happen after that? What's going to happen if I do make the changes? Am I going to be by myself? How's things going to work? Whatever, So this is just a timely reminder for you that, life is what you make it. And I believe that the credit should go to people who have the courage to not live a lie. Not live a lie. People should get the credit for standing up for themselves or for standing up for the truth and not living a lie. Like, that's where your freedom is. So many of us, we want freedom, but we're not living our truth. And then why are we not living our truth? Well, because we give a shit about other people's feelings more than we give a shit about our own feelings. And then, the deeper thing there goes, well, what's missing there? Well, I'm just telling you what's missing. It's called self-love. It's called a relationship with yourself. If you really loved yourself enough, you would actually be a leader, be the example. It doesn't matter where you are in your life right now. You're the one that goes, well, whoever's around me, whoever's influenced by me, whoever's inspired by me, whoever sees me, whoever knows me, actually is going to be inspired, motivated, and influenced by me in a positive way because I actually respect myself. I actually have my own back. I'm always teaching, whether it's your children or whether it's your family or whether it's your friend. I'm teaching people that when something isn't right, I get out of there. I'm teaching people that I respect myself. I hold myself in such a high regard that no amount of money or materialistic possessions is going to make me happy and force me to stay in a situation where I don't feel fulfilled or peace. We want more peace, but we're not willing to make the changes. We're not willing to make the trade. We don't understand ourselves and how energetics of our body and living in a state of dysfunction actually affects our mental health, our emotional health, our spiritual health, our physical health. All in all, internally, you're always going to end up being unhappy. You can go to the fucking gym and go for your walks and drink alcohol and snort coke for as long as you want, but you're always going to come back to the truth that internally you're unhappy. Internally, that's where the peace is. And it's almost like we're living this lie of living outside of ourselves when really, inside here, your spirit, your intuition, your divinity, it already knows what you need to do. That's why you're unhappy. You're like, fucking, how do I overcome this depression? Well, fucking stop playing a character that you're not. How do I overcome this state of stagnation where nothing is changing? Well, it requires change. It requires for you to step into actually being your true authentic self. Your true authenticity is actually where you start to go, well, this doesn't serve me. I got to go. This is not good for me. I got to change things. This is not right for me. I got to remove these people from my life. Well, this is not serving me anymore. I got to fuck it off. But that doesn't happen when you have a lack of confidence in yourself. That doesn't happen when you're able to actually be or have some sort of independence in your life. If we are relying on other people, and this is the hard part, if you're in a situation where you are relying on someone else well, then you're never going to be free because you don't have your own power. If you don't have your support from your family members or whatever it is, and you've got to solely rely on yourself or you've got to solely rely on someone else, well, you're never going to be free. And it's your responsibility, I guess, for wherever you are in your life to go, it may take 12 months, it may take 24 months, but at least then I'll be free. At least then I can fucking do something else in my life or be somewhere else or feel something different. Change takes time. Great things take time. Where you're stuck right now in your life is exactly where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to have tried. Give yourself credit, give yourself a pat on the back, give yourself a round of applause and go, fuck, man, you actually tried. You tried to be happy. You tried to think that you were doing the right thing. You tried to go down that road less traveled or go down that path that you thought was the right thing to do. And then you found out that it wasn't. So good. That's fantastic. Stop thinking that there's only fucking one way in life. If it's to do with relationships, which many of our lives has to do with that, we're stuck in this limited way of thinking that this one person is supposed to be with us forever. And it's like, get the fuck out of that, man. If you're not happy and content and fulfilled and you haven't been able to figure out a solution or have made positive changes or moving forward in the relationship, well, that's a freaking sign after how many tries, how many years for you to go, well, maybe I've got some lessons I need to learn from this and now I need to move on. But if I can't move on because I'm not in a fucking positive financial position to be able to be independent and have my own back, well, maybe I've got to make a fucking plan. Maybe you've got to start fucking creating some sort of your own fucking wealth so you can take control of your life. And maybe that's going to take 2 or 3 years. But it's going to be better for you to take 2 or 3 years for you to get 2 or 3 years down the fucking road and then go, fuck, I'm in the same place and I can't do anything. I'm still in the same fucking place I was 3 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's better to make a plan now. And you can say necessarily that it's an exit strategy, right? But what I'm just trying to say, like, don't limit yourself. It can be a job that you've been in for fucking 10 years. And you're like, I don't know where else I can go. I don't know what else I could do, but I don't know if I could survive without this job. And you're like, well, if you made a plan to save fucking 10 grand a year or 20 grand a year for the next 3 years, well, you'd have fucking 60 grand by the end of the 3 years and you'd be in a really good position to go, fuck, I'm going to start my own business or I'm going to go and travel and create a vlog on fucking YouTube and I'm going to start a YouTube channel and I'm going to have 60 grand to play with, in 3 years time because I took the time to save that money and I had a vision, I had a plan for something new. And let me tell you, once you actually start to create that vision and you start to actually believe and focus on something positive and moving forward in your life, you'll start to see that, man, as soon as you decide, man, the universe, God will start creating new opportunities. You'll start thinking differently. Things will start changing really, really quickly. But if you don't decide, nothing will change. Like, I'm living in Poland right now. And I remember saying in March, after I came back from my grandmother's funeral in Warsaw, and I was like, that's it, I'm moving to Poland. I was living in Erskineville in Sydney. I was working 2 jobs and, I wasn't living the healthiest life, but man, I was the life of the party, man. I loved having the boys over, I loved fucking snorting cocaine. I loved fucking drinking. I loved hanging out with my mates. I loved fucking that life. And then I came back from that funeral and I was like, I'm moving. And that one decision made all the difference. I'm moving. All of a sudden, fuck, life changed. It's the law of attraction. You start thinking about something new, then someone else starts talking about, I'm moving to Europe as well. Oh, great. When are you moving? Oh, wow. But see, if I hadn't made that decision, someone else telling me they're going to move to Europe as well or move to Poland as well, I would have been like, yeah, good on you. Like, congratulations. Awesome. After feeling rejected or going through an experience where I wasn't loved in return in a friendship or relationship that I was pursuing, I then decided, wow, you know what, maybe I need to get a second job because I need to become more successful. because if I want to be a good husband or a partner, I want to be able to provide and protect and serve and give and be able to, show that I can take care of someone. And I didn't have that. Didn't have financial security. Didn't have the ability to do that because all I had was a single fucking job. Monday to Friday, I was like, well, if I'm going to make more money, I need another job. Okay, cool. That's what I thought. Straight away, law of attraction, get back to work. A guy goes to me, hey, man, friend of mine's like, hey, bro, I'm making more money. I've got a second job. Look at what I'm doing. This is how much I get paid every week. Additional money on the side, working morning and the evening. I go, bro, give me a job. He goes, all right, I'll speak to the guy. Mate, fucking 1 week later, I had a second job. Law of attraction. If you don't start thinking like that, it's not going to come. You're not going to see it. It's incredible. When you make that decision for change, you start thinking differently. You start hearing different conversations. People start talking about different stuff, and life starts changing very, very quickly for you. But you got to be there and you got to start making plans, having visions, having a goal, having something that you're going to shift. Because, man, I'm telling you, and once you make that shift, I didn't end up moving to Poland. But guess what? 6 years later, now I'm here. 6 years. If I had sat there and gone, oh, it's going to take me 6 years, that's too long, eh? Yeah, I didn't know how it was going to happen. Because as I started the journey, things started to change. And eventually I was like, I'm not going to move to Poland anymore. I found my purpose. I got out of my comfort zone. I started facing my fears, investing in my personal development, working on my communication skills, becoming a better version of myself, loving myself, believing in myself, overcoming my insecurities and my doubts and my fears. And so then it's like, oh my gosh, look who I've been missing the whole time in my life, myself. So many of us are looking for this external energy or materialistic possessions or something outside of ourselves to make us happy. Be it a relationship, for example. That's what I was looking. I was believing. And again, I understand how having a healthy relationship can make you feel. It's a dream. And for those of you who are living in that, I can understand. It's absolutely extraordinary. It's beautiful. It changes your life. But I had this belief that something outside of myself was going to give me that peace and happiness. The truth is, I never had the peace and happiness within myself, for myself. And I had to come to a realization that nothing outside of myself was going to make me happy. If I wasn't happy within myself, and this is the other part of it, some of us are in relationships simply because we're codependent. We're not independent, we're codependent. We need something outside of ourselves to make us feel enough. Well, hey, I got a girlfriend, I got a boyfriend, I got a partner. I'm enough. Because without them, I'm not enough. Revelations, ladies and gentlemen. Aha moments right now. Light bulb. Many of us are in relationships because we're insecure within ourselves. We're afraid of ourselves. We're afraid to be with ourselves because of the opinions of others. Better be in a relationship. I better just be with someone because at least then I'm in a relationship. I'm not alone. I'm perceived by other people as, oh, well, they're together. So this is huge. And it isn't easy to be with yourself. But I learned from realizing that, I'm yearning for that connection, but I don't have a connection within myself. So I'm living in this codependent state of relying on something outside of myself continuously to make me happy. And I truly believe that if you live with that kind of a level of thinking and being, well, then you're never going to feel enough because you're always going to be relying on something outside of yourself to give you that validation, that gratification, that approval. And I can also understand and appreciate, because I have a high level of self-awareness, that when you're with someone and you're genuinely happy, that you kind of do fall into a bit of codependency. Because we're emotional beings, and I can appreciate that. And me here speaking about this is not judging anyone who's in a beautiful relationship. Because I could say, for example, one of my sisters, I could look at her relationship with her husband and I could say, wow, their relationship is just flawless. It's amazing. Obviously, there's always work to do in relationships. But I can say, you know what? They're probably codependent as well. And I'm like, yeah, of course. You know, like they've been together for fucking 20 years, you know, the feeling of not seeing your spouse is uncomfortable for like 2-3 weeks because you're like, oh my god, I miss you. Like fuck, I need you in my life. I'm attached to you. We are emotional beings. We create these invisible fucking umbilical cords for the people that we love and that we're connected to. And so it's almost we can't live without them. It's almost like a mother birthing a child and then the child grows up 18, 19, 20, and then all of a sudden they go on their own to like live their life. And the mother's like, oh my God, like, where's my child? It's much like the same thing, right? But it's just about your level of self-confidence in yourself, your level of self. That's why I say exercise solitude when you're in a relationship, you know? Allow yourself, give yourself permission to actually spend some time with yourself to kind of test. You know, I did this with Danilo back in 2021, my best friend, you know, DJ Danilo. And I was like, because he's had my back the whole time. Like I talk a lot, and I love to share. And I went through some real fucking shit, man. And when you go through shit, man, you need someone to talk to. You know what I mean? And he was always there, and he's been such a good listener. He's just had my back all the time. But I got to this point where I was like, am I codependent with him? Like, can I not live without him? Because I always call him all the time. Every fucking time there's a problem, every time I need to talk about something, every time I need to share something, fucking call Danilo. So I had to test that for myself, especially when I was learning about codependency. So I said, all right, no more talking to Danilo for the next 2 weeks. Let's see how I go. And guess what? I was able to survive without calling him. And so after that, I was like, well, that's great. That means I'm able to manage. You know, I'm not codependent. I have good people in my life. I'm able to feel comfortable and confident that, you know, I want to communicate with someone. I want to feel connected to someone, and I want to bounce ideas and have that support in my life without me knowing that I'm constantly leaning on someone because I can't lean on myself. You know, and you know that's why community is so important in our life. Having the right people in our life, having that support connection. You know, some of us don't have family, some of us don't have that support. Hence why, you know, investing in yourself, being in a community and being a part of something that is growing is so crucial, so important. You know, when I was first starting, before I actually started my group coaching program or any of my programs and coaching, you know, I was investing in myself, and I was part of Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins' Knowledge Broker Blueprint, their program, and they've got a massive community, and I was in that community, and then I was in the community with Lisa Nichols, and then I was in the Mind Valley community. You know, like I have done this because I also needed to surround myself with an environment that was growing, that was going to be empowering, inspiring for me. Because not everybody that I was connected to was on this journey. And it's up to you to realize that, you know, like if you're looking for something that's going to nourish you and add value to your life, well, that's why you invest in yourself. That's why you join. That's why you get a life coach. That's why you take action. That's why you invest in yourself. Because this is where the change comes from. You are a product of your environment. If you surround yourself with successful people, you'll become successful. If you surround yourself with an environment that actually adds value to your life, it complements your life, it raises your vibration, it lifts you up, it elevates you. It's people that are staying consistent, taking action, working on their shit, overcoming their fears, getting out of their comfort zone. People that are starting their own businesses, that have never started their own businesses before, that are starting doing something they've never done before. That's an environment that's thriving. That's an environment that's going to lift you up. That's an environment that's going to show you what's possible. That, wow, if someone can do something they've never done before and become someone they've never been before, maybe you could do it too. That's this whole beautiful gift of inspiration. But if you don't get around that kind of environment, ain't nothing going to change in your life. You know, you are the biggest investment that you can ever think about in your life. It's not in anything else. Your biggest investment is you, pouring into you, working on yourself. And one thing that I really, really love, I was talking about this in my coaching group coaching call yesterday. I was talking about growth. Because one of the things that we can get stuck in is like this journey of evolution, this journey of like, I have to grow, I have to grow, I have to evolve, you know? And the truth is, all that's required, and this, I hope that this brings you a little bit more peace because it will really, really make sense. What we don't want to get stuck in is this whole like perpetual state of forcing ourselves, like, I need to grow, I need to evolve, I need to become better, like, hurry up. Like, you know, it's this, you know, I need to, if I'm not growing, I'm dying. Because you hear this, and I want you to, you know, my purpose is to help you have more peace. I don't want you to be anxious and having this like constant force of like, oh, hurry up. I need to listen to the next episode quick. When's the next episode out? Well, I need to keep growing. I need to listen to motivational videos. I need to like keep pouring into myself. I need to keep listening. I need to, whatever you put in your mind is what you become. And I've got to stay focused on my gratitude and meditation and all this stuff. Like, you know, and it's almost like if you don't fucking do this routine every day, you know, you're going to have anxiety and you're not going to grow as much. And you're not, you know what I mean? Like, we need to calm down. You need to breathe. You need to come back to the present moment and come back to this journey of life where you're at right now and actually live in more a state of peace and gratitude by knowing that as long as you have made a choice in your life, a decision to become a better version of yourself, to use your life in a way of moving forward every day, of knowing that great things take time, of being patient, of trusting the process, having faith that whatever's destined for you is going to be attracted to you. Whatever's right for you will be attracted to you. Whatever's meant to be is going to happen. You can realize that you don't need to be anxious anymore. You don't need to force it. There's nothing to force. It's a beautiful state of being, knowing that you are actually just going to grow organically. As long as you nourish yourself, take care of yourself every day. You don't need to be anxious about, oh my God, am I evolving today? Am I growing? It's just going to naturally happen. All that's required is the first step. And the first step of change and growth and evolution is knowing that you cannot stay where you are. And then just chill, man. You know, like I release 2 episodes on the Luke Mind Power podcast every week. I do as many pieces of content of dancing when I can fit it in. Whenever that shows up, it will show up on your feed, on your social medias, and you'll enjoy it and you'll be inspired by it and you'll get uplifted by it. And then everything else is up to you. Your routine that you do every day, your self-awareness of, you know, am I in my own way? Do I have my own back? Am I tolerating some bullshit behaviors that I shouldn't be tolerating? Am I surrounding myself with people who are gossiping, complaining, and negative in their life? What do I need to release? What do I need to let go of? What do I need to let go of so that I can have more space for more positive energy and positive experiences and positive relationships? What are the things that I'm constantly doing in my life that are really just not serving me anymore that I need to let go of? Who are the people that I need to love from a distance now and just protect my energy and my boundaries now because these kind of relationships don't serve me anymore? What are the things that I'm watching or listening to that really aren't adding value to my life anymore? Like all these changes are required, you know. Is my environment fostering change or inspiring me to become a better version of myself? Am I in the wrong place in my life, in our relationships or where I'm living right now that just really is not going to help me become a better version of myself? So I need to create a plan or a vision or something like that to be able to actually make the changes in 6 months' time or 12 months' time. Like, think about all this shit, man. And then all you need to do is make that one decision, because once you make that one decision for change, new decisions come along the way and you just feel it. And then when you feel it, you're just like, cool, man. All I need to do is just keep growing. There's no stress. Every day brings new challenges, new lessons, no failures, just lessons. And it's a blessing to be alive. And just like me doing a podcast can be you sitting and writing your 5 things that you're grateful for every morning. For me, this is just part of my routine. This is also part of my growth, which I don't have to sit there and go, oh my God, I'm going to do another episode. That means I'm going to grow more. The numbers keep going up. The podcast episodes keep going up because I just keep taking action. But I'm not sitting here in this perpetual state of like, oh my gosh, like, come on, I need to grow. I'm learning and growing through life. I'm learning from all of the clients that I work with. I'm learning from building a business. I'm learning from, becoming more aware of my health. I'm learning because I keep making mistakes and then learning from them. So this will give you more peace because you don't have to sit here and feel like I'm not enough, because eventually many of us are, self-help junkies. If you're not investing in something, because a lot of you guys have already done a lot of personal development. You've already invested. You've probably gone to Unleash the Power Within, Tony Robbins. You've probably done other programs, and you think that if you don't keep doing programs that you're not going to be enough. I need to keep showing that I'm investing. No, you don't. You need to be confident and content with where you are. There is an abundance of information out there that you can just keep learning from. To say I'm very, very grateful and blessed because all of my private clients, all of my group coaching clients, that my sisters, my team, I learn from my family. I learn from everyone all the time. And I don't have as much time to listen to podcasts, to listen to interviews and all that. I see a little dribs and drabs on social media and all this kind of stuff, but I don't have that much time because I'm so busy with everything else. So where do I learn all my information? From life, from experiences. And so this is also a reminder for you. Don't get lost in constantly investing. If you're constantly investing in yourself and doing programs after program after program after program, if you're not in a fucking program then or course that you're not growing, that's a sign that you're not taking action in your personal life. That's a sign that you're not getting out of your comfort zone. That's a sign that you haven't started the business that you should be starting. That's a sign that you haven't taken that uncomfortable action of what it is that you've been doing in your life for the last 3 years that you need to change, but you haven't changed. And so you think by doing another fucking program or course, that's going to change. Now, if you're working on your investing in your personal development, as like my program will fucking change your life when you do it, there's no point of working on yourself when it doesn't force you to make positive and implement radical change in your life. The purpose of you investing in yourself is for you to actually be forced and pushed out of your comfort zone so that you go, oh my gosh, I'm tolerating this. Oh my gosh, I need to change this. Oh my God, I love myself so much. I'm so confident in myself. I'm going to fucking live my fucking dreams. I'm going to get up there and fucking take action and change. That's the whole purpose of you investing in yourself. Investing in yourself is not about you doing course after course after course after course and fuck all changes. And you're just like, yeah, I'm doing this course with Tony Robbins. I'm doing this course with Luke Mindpower. I'm doing this course with Marissa P. I'm doing this course with fucking Trent Shelton. But you ain't making the progress. Like, you pay attention and become self-aware of the change that's happening in your life. Is there massive change or not? Because if you're investing in yourself, you should be seeing huge results, massive change. Your expectations are too low. If you haven't been investing in yourself and you ain't seen massive results, and also regarding investing, if you're only investing $100, don't expect yourself to completely transform your life, but you should, because I invested $500 back in 2018 doing a speaking program, which led me to who I am today. But I was ready and I took action and I stayed consistent. You go out there and work for your cash, and then you buy something and then you don't appreciate it. So really, the money that you're making is a waste. If you are investing in yourself, that means you're consciously saying, I am ready to grow and I'm going to respect the energy that I'm putting into this which I am investing into, and I'm going to use it. Because I respect my time that I used to get paid the cash that I did from my job. If you don't love money and respect it, why the fuck should it respect you back? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. I hope you had a great time. It's been a blessing to spend some more time with you. I appreciate you guys. Share this with your friends. We need more positivity and more self-awareness out there. And I hope that you guys don't give up on yourself, okay? There's obviously more podcast episodes to go, and I won't stop. I'll just keep going. I'm not going to give up. There's no giving up. It's once you start, this is just who I am. This is part of my routine, part of what I do. And if you've ever thought about starting a podcast, then do it, because you didn't think about it for no reason. And you have to try shit. If you don't try shit, you'll never know if it's actually who you are or what you want to be doing. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Don't give up on yourself. Believe in yourself. I believe in you, and I will catch you guys real soon. Peace out.